Hi, welcome to part one of using dynamic data for populating Google Maps and putting different color markers up there with information in them. Now Google has a tutorial here, actually two that I'm concerned with, that we're going to use with this particular tutorial here. And the first is, that's the second actually. The first is geocoding addresses with PHP MySQL, and it kind of goes in hand with this tutorial, which is a Google tutorial as well, on using PHP MySQL with Google Maps. This particular tutorial gives you pre-addressed information for your database, which just says Pan Africa Market, 20 blah blah, First Street, Seattle, Washington, and you'll see that it has latitude and longitude information. Well, I don't know about you, but when I collect information about a thing, I'm really not getting that latitude and longitude. You know, I mean, I just, you know, if I look at a piece of mail and it says, you know, Joe's Crab House, 123 Main Street, Seattle, Washington, blah blah, zip code. Nowhere in that address am I seeing 47 comma or 47.608.941 comma minus 122. See, so we gotta, what we need to do is we need to get these numbers here and associate them with an address. So basically in this situation, the zip code is meaningless. If you're gonna collect zip codes, that's because you are going to hard mail them something, but for mapping, the zip code is completely meaningless. There are three levels to the mapping itself. You can map by state, which is, you can map Washington. Of course, that's not going to give you anything accurate other than somewhere a dot will show up in the state of Washington. You can map Seattle, Washington. Now that's useful if, like me, I'm doing Craigslist and Backpage ads all over the country. I like to know, because my ads aren't specific to anything other than a city. They don't specifically map to anything more than a city. So Seattle, Washington would be fine for me in that situation. But if you want to know where Pan Africa Market is, and you want your visitors to be able to find Pan Africa Market, you need 1521 First Street, Seattle, Washington, with commas in between. Now, if you're like me, your database probably doesn't contain an address like this. Your database probably contains, I'm going to show you mine, it has name, email, and then I have address, city, state, zip. And I've added, you can see I've added this latitude field and longitude field to an existing database. All you really got to do is add those two tables, and then that's where those go in. So what this particular lesson is going to get into is what you need to do to populate these. In fact, what they have here is a geocoding address tutorial here. And this tutorial goes hand in hand with this tutorial here that I was showing you before. And this tutorial is how to map these locations on a map. When you get done doing the Google tutorial, this is what ideally you're going to have for your map. You're going to have several bars and restaurants, and the bars are going to be one color, the restaurants are going to be another. Can't tell which is which on that. So let's see, Wing Dome. Thinking Wing Dome sounds a little bar-y to me. Yeah, bar. Bars are red and restaurants are blue, according to their according to what they've done for their tutorial there. Now I'm going to go over the geocoding because that's what we're more concerned with. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this tutorial right here. Is coming out of my database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my database and I'm going to just delete that whole table. Yeah, I think I'll just get rid of the whole table. So I'm going to just go to my main database right there. I'm going to find markers and I'm going to drop markers. Drop table markers. Okay. Now, when I go back to this, I should come up with an empty set. Yep, empty set, empty map, because there's nothing in markers. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the tutorial step by step and create markers for you. Now, in the tutorial that's about updating the database, they have a connection file, all the other stuff. I'm going to skip over that because I'm going to assume that you know how to create a database and that you know how to make a connection file. So here are the unencoded, you see with the zeros here, these are the unencoded records for the database, and rather than type them all in, I'm just going to cut and paste, copy it from the tutorial. I go back over here and well, actually I don't even have the database anymore, so I better go back to the tutorial here and get the table. So I'm going to create table markers, copy that, bring it over to here, go to SQL, paste it in here, and populating the address table. Said you have an error, check the manual that corresponds. Rewrite syntax to use near populating the address table. Oh, okay, I don't need that. So I just copied a little bit too much. Alright, here we go. Table markers already exists. Okay. I guess it wrote the table markers and then it shot me that error. Okay, yeah, it exists, whatever. Alright, back to work. Okay, so now that we have that, yeah, I see where I highlighted populating table. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to go over here and we're going to copy, insert markers, blah blah, control copy. So we go back over to our phpMyAdmin in the SQL window. We populate the markers. Okay, we've got a populated database of markers now, and you'll see our latitude and longitudes are 0. And so this is pretty straightforward and easy. So next thing we want to do is we want to go back to the tutorial from Google, and now that we have our database with our empty fields, it's going to explain how you connect to a database. We don't really have time to get into that. I'm assuming you know how to connect to a database. If you do not, we'll have to address that somewhere else, because this particular tutorial is a little more involved than that. So anyway, this is PHP Google Code XML. So I'm going to see, I think I've already got that one made, because rather than do it all online with you guys sitting watching me do it, I'm going to pause up for a second. Okay, I had to make sure I had all of my files together, and I do. Okay, we have our data now, and we're going to refresh this. You can see that we don't have any data on the map, and we're going to go over here. We're going to notice I'm going to refresh this with the browse. I'll refresh it, refreshing the window as well, and you'll see you've got nothing in here. So now I have a file sitting on my server, and I'm going to go ahead and visit that file, and that file is this file right here that was given in here, which is the sample code. This is the code that geocodes the entire database of markers. Now let's go ahead and run through this, and then I'll get into how you can use it in yours. So I've got geocode XML. Hit that. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Control B. Hit this, and I should get a blank page. Now when we go back to our database, remember we got zeros here. I'm going to hit browse, and you'll see that it's populated it with the Geo Data. all of that by using this address right here. Now, I want you to take note of the fact that they have this address, comma, city, comma, state. This is important because I'm going to show you in a later, in the next tutorial, how you can go ahead and break down your separately managed or your separated files. So anyway, we'll back into this map, and now you can see that we have populated the map because the data has been populated. So a little bit more in the next version, so check back, just check the site. They're all in order on my website, lenfarneth.com, under tutorials, and I will see you in the next video.